So I'm Teemu Maki-Patola, and I'm working on the business side and marketing as well of Frogmind. So COO of Frogmind.
Okay, so how long have you been working with Frogmind for?
About a year.
About a year, so it's been since the success of Badland, of course, which has been...
Well, it was actually slightly after the success.
Slightly after the success. Yeah. So why did you come into Frogmind? What was it that the guys...
Because I played the game.
You played the game,
yeah.
So you're a keen fan of the game?
Yeah.
Is that how you got that job?
Well, I was in a position of like trying to get away from my previous place.
Okay.
And I played the game and I watched the launch and I thought that, like, I mean, this is pretty much genius design, so those must be good guys.
Yeah, and they were, I mean, at that point, obviously they're famous for being the two-man team who went off and created this really successful game. Yeah. I mean, when you were going over and pitching to them and saying, you know, come on, hire me, what were your aims? What's your mission, I guess, in the Frogmind company? What are you trying to do with the Badland brand? Are you trying to build it, or? Well,
my kind of interest was to spread it as wide as possible and get it to as many hands as possible, because I think, I mean, it's a product that can be really enjoyed. Yeah. I enjoyed it much, so I mean, I was kind of in that phase wanted to share that experience to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and one way that you really did share that experience with as many people as possible, I'm not sure how involved you were in this, was when you managed to get the app as the free app of the week, I think, during the 5th year celebration of the App Store. So, I mean, it's an interesting point, because the game had been doing really well as a paid app, but then in the course of a week it managed to get about 7.5 million downloads just as a result of this feature. I mean, what did that teach you and the company about the differences between the paid model and the free model? Did you learn anything from that feature?
Well, obviously it highlights quite strongly what kind of markets you can, like how many users you can get with the free model. Also kind of course inspired us to think about how to go to the Android side, but I mean, the game was really very premium by design. We didn't want to actually start making like consumables and really change the gameplay. But then but Android and premium market on Android side is really tiny.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, rather just expand the brand to millions of people than.
Exactly. Well, I like the way that you said Android side, a bit like Dark Side from Star Wars. I don't know if it was intended, but I laughed myself when I heard it. But being more serious as well, you've obviously seen that success, and as you said, I think it was probably the right thing, is that when you have a premium game, trying to transition it to a free-to-play model, it's not necessarily going to work, because the way that someone's built it up is to make it a premium experience, and suddenly chucking things in and out doesn't work.
It would be a lot of work to actually do it like the proper way.
Exactly. So. But does that mean that in the future you're thinking more about free-to-play? Are you thinking about going in that direction?
Well, how to put that? Well, obviously, kind of like, if you look at, for instance, how much money being top paid, let's say like in top 30 paid game, like year after year, and it's been going down.
So
there is a trend for that, and I mean, pretty much Badland did as well as a premium game can do, which was well. I mean, it's like it's well, but it's not like the free-to-play market. So we are interested of that, but we haven't really figured out yet, like in what way we would be going there.
Yeah. So it's an interesting discussion, because there's plenty of these developers out there who perhaps started on paid. I mean, Rovio is a good example. They've started on paid and they've had to move now towards this free-to-play model. So, as a kind of final little question, do you see this is going to continue to be a trend? And if so, what maybe would be the advice of a company who succeeded in premium and is maybe considering that change of heart, would you give to developers perhaps watching this video who are going, which model should I go for?
Well, I mean, premium model pretty much requires you to get focus from the platform holders. So I mean, if you go premium and you don't get featured, then that's a really difficult position to be in, and you never get guarantees of getting featured. So I mean, it's a risky business. But then again, if you go to the freemium, free-to-play, like proper free-to-play side, there are lots of big big giants walking on that field, and I mean user acquisition costs are, if you would need to use paid user acquisition, then you need pretty big war chest for that.
Yeah, I like that. You're keeping your cards close to your chest. You're sort of giving these options that people could pursue, but saying, hey, here's the caveats as well.
But if you are like 2 guys,
yeah,
I would still probably.
You still go for paid.
I would probably say that maybe the chances are better on the paid side.
Okay.
But it of course like comes from making a really good high quality product.
Okay, well thanks very much for joining us, and thanks for giving us one of those little pieces of advice. It's going to be really interesting to see what direction Frogmind take in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having us.